What if I told you that the most famous equation in history, E equals to mc squared, wasn't discovered in a lab in 1905, but was articulately encoded in a 5-paged letter to a small church in Ephesus 2,000 years ago?
No way!
We all know what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Bang! So now we are about to find out what happens when science meets the Bible. Coming up next on The Bible Nerd. In 1905, Einstein's theory of relativity demonstrated that mass and energy are manifestations of each other, two forms of the same thing, and that they are interchangeable. And from this theory, he gave the mass to energy equivalence formula E equals to mc squared. But today, we are going to look at how almost 2,000 years earlier, the Apostle Paul may have encoded this very same theory and its specific formula into the pages of the Bible. In Ephesians 5 verse 13, the Apostle Paul made a very bold scientific claim that seems impossible for his time. Essentially, Paul wrote that all matter, which is everything visible, is a manifestation of light. Money, fur, station. Now listen to what Einstein said about 2,000 years later.
Mass and energy are but different manifestations of the same thing. Different manifestations of the same thing. Energy is thought equal to mass multiplied with the square of the velocity of light.
Now, it may be tempting to think that this is just one of those 10th in a billion coincidences, but here's where it gets really eerie. Ephesians 5:13 acts like a mathematical cipher for the equation itself. If you've ever watched the Glass Onion movie, then this is one of those crack the box open moments. So let's break it down, nerds. And here we go. Just hold on. Okay, got it. First of all, Ephesians, this is the only book in the New Testament that starts with the letter E. So in the equation E equals to mc squared, let's have the E stand for Ephesians. Then next, the verse in question is Ephesians chapter 5, verse 13. So we have E equals to 513. And 513 is a combination of two numbers, 513. But back then, they didn't use the Roman numerals that we are most familiar with today. Those ones were only introduced in the Middle Ages. Back then, they used an earlier version of the Roman numerals called the Apostrophus system, in which a straight line followed by a backwards letter C was used to signify big numbers. The backward C, which is the Apostrophus, showed how many zeros followed after the straight line. Here is an example of a year given in this notation on a church in the Netherlands. So while C was 100, if there was a straight line and a backward C after, then that would be 1,000. But the glyph for 1,000 in the Apostrophus system looked very much similar to the Greek letter phi, which was also a symbol for the Greek number 500. And since both the Greek and the Roman Apostrophus numeral systems were being used at the same time, in the same era, then either one could be used to represent the number 500. So numerically, in Ephesians 5:13, the 500 part is a double C. And then, as for the number 13, instead of using letters that numerally represent the number 13, just simply took the 13th letter of the Roman alphabet, which is the letter M. So we have E for Ephesians equals to M, which is the 13th letter, which is verse 13 times C squared, which is a double C, 500 and 513 in the Apostrophus and Greek numerals. So there you have it, nerds. Could this still be a billionth of a billion coincidence? That Ephesians 5:13 is a numerical code for the formula E equals to mc squared, and that the contents of that same verse also mirror Einstein's theory of relativity? Tell me what you think, nerds. Was this a coincidence, or was this a shared understanding between the authors of ancient texts and modern science of how the cosmos operate? Leave a comment, and remember to subscribe to this channel for more videos like these.